Guys, welcome to this week's Van Haven TV, and it is an absolute honour to be sat in front of you, officially launching the new Van Haven campervan. We've called the van the Shillingstone because we are based in a small village in Shillingstone. We didn't set out to reinvent the campervan, but we really set out to perfect it, to make sure that it was instantly recognisable as a VW campervan, but to totally elevate it. We focused 100% this conversion onto the Transporter T6.1. The reasons for that is that since 1950, the VW has always been a campervan. I mean, it was and is still the true microbus. So putting it into anything else for us as a group of guys and a brand just didn't feel right. As you know, and we've said in the past, we managed to acquire ourselves the very last of the big spec transporters. And we bagged them for not just the Edition 73 launch, but also for the launch of the Shillingstone. In May 2026, these will be the very last brand new VW campervans to grace this planet, you know. When the original Combi was pulled out of production, this thing made global news.
Começou a contagem regressiva para
The VW is to stop making the Combi.
The Combi is not being replaced.
End of an era, not seeing one of those around.
So what better way to sign it off with the last of the Transporter T6.1 having the final conversion that is totally perfected. So with no further ado, let me show you the new Van Haven campervan. So it was really, really important that when we kind of sat down at the beginning of this journey, which was about 2 years, 18 months is when we kind of started work on it, but 2 years ago is when we had the initial kind of thought process about this. At this time, we knew that the T6.1 transporter was going to be discontinued. We instantly got into R&D mode. Now, when R&D mode happens at Van Haven, this isn't us guys quickly sitting down and going, oh, that'd be cool, this will be nice, we should try that. It gets into high detail. The mission was, it had to be totally, unmistakably elevated without changing too much. Stepping inside this camper felt like you were entering into something a completely different level. From the technology, the features that it can offer, to the way that conversion actually works for you, the tactileness, the touch, the feel, the materials used. It really needed to be groundbreaking and something that's never been done before. This meant that we had to reach out to some of the most amazing engineering companies, the most amazing water and filtration specialists and all this kind of stuff, so that we could package all the bits that we wanted it into a long wheelbase transporter. It was a long and exciting journey, and I think where we've ended up with is, well, it's exactly where we wanted to end up with. We've pulled it off. So the first thing you're going to notice when we have a little look inside the Shillingstone, the layout inside is exactly what you would expect. There's no culture shock whatsoever, but you are going to really notice how clean, light, simple and modern it looks in there. What we're looking at here is the work surface, and you'll notice there is no hob sink in this van. What you're looking at is just a solid Spanish porcelain worktop that's got an integrated induction hob into it. So you can put a pan on there, get it up to temperature, boiling water in literally minutes.
Let that do its thing.
So this vehicle runs off lithium.
Yep.
I can hear a slight buzz coming from the induction hob as it's doing, oh my God, it's steaming already. It is mental.
Yeah, that is really impressive, yeah. I don't know how long, you'll have it on camera how long that is, but that's seconds, you know, it's a matter of seconds to have boiling water now inside that pan. It's seconds, you know, it's so efficient. It's just absolutely fantastic.
That's so cool. All right, take that off for a second.
Turn that off. So literally, put your hand straight on there. Not even slightly.
Put it back on.
Not even slightly warm.
It's quite childish, actually.
But it's good fun.
You know.
But it is childish, and it like I say, it's a bit of fun, but actually, genuinely, how quick that boils, how efficient that is, and actually, when you're in a space this small with kids, traditionally, when you've had to boil a kettle, you've cooked some food, and you've got a hot hob ring, it's actually dangerous. Whereas, like I say, that is literally a boiling pan, and you can literally straight from boiling pan. It's not even...
That's just fantastic. And it looks so beautiful. It's not a big black glass panel, you know, that you can break or put something on. You can chop on this, scratch proof, all that good stuff. It also means that you've got a fantastic amount of prep space. So when you've got a normal hob, obviously you've got that glass panel. They are very fragile. You can't, you know, drop a mug on it and you're screwed. So this is a really nice, user-friendly piece of equipment. And you'll also see that we've got a normal lifted style tap. It's incredibly important. So one of my main frustrations with taps in the transport camper is that they're too small to get your plate in, to get your pan in, to do all that kind of stuff. You just want a slightly larger tap. It makes life so much easier. And this van also has hot and cold water. So instant, on-demand hot water. And that's not by diesel, and that's not by gas. That's also done by electric. So the electrical system in this van is one of the areas that we worked particularly hard on, I mean, that porcelain induction hob, that you're looking at about 3 months of work for James and Andy just in that one component. When we got to the electrical system, we then had to figure out a way of not only running all your standard camper van stuff like your diesel heater, your lighting, or your habitation, your water pumps and all that kind of stuff, but we now had hot water to deal with, and we had an induction hob, and we wanted to run the original Discover Media head unit in the van off the off-grid system as well. So if we look back at our normal camper vans, you'll probably know that the battery and all the power management stuff either lives under the bed or in the bottom of a cupboard or in the cupboard. The compromise is you lose some space. When we look in all the cupboards in here, you'll notice that the only cupboard and the only piece of electrical equipment that you can see is when we open this rear cupboard here, right at the back of the van, there's a hatch in there, and in there is a Victron 200 amp hour lithium battery. That's it. That's all you get to see. Obviously, there are access points so that you can get into them. The entire install was pre-loomed before it was fitted into the conversion. When we have these vehicles in the future, or someone else has these vehicles in the future, and they need to get behind a panel or they need to remove an X or a Y, I can guarantee you that behind the panel work is just as beautifully executed as what's on show. When we look onto the left-hand side of the cupboard, you'll see there's that really cool engraved door. We're going to pull that door down, and there we have the big Victron inverter. The energy system in here is just monumental. It has enough power to run everything, run all of its hot water, run its heaters, run its inverters, and just do it without any stress whatsoever. So for you, when you're out and about enjoying your van, this is just makes life so easy because you just don't have to think about it. The Shillingstone also comes with solar, so when the sun's shining, you can be as heavy as you like, cooking as many burgers, sausages, or vegetarian salads as you like, which is really, really cool. Yeah, the hot water system is feeding both the kitchen sink and also the shower. The shower is in this location where if we pull this little flap back at the behind the right-hand side rear light, you'll notice you've got a really beautifully presented water inlet and outlet. You just speed clip that shower straight into there, and the shower system is not only just a normal shower, but it offers you that lovely warm mist that everyone loves and gets you really, really wet without getting you very wet at all. It's amazing. Let's have a little talk about the cabinetry as well. So what you're looking at here, we designed this cabinetry from the ground up. Now, we ended up having to go to an aerospace engineering firm for our cabinetry. And you might be thinking, why on earth would you need to go to an aerospace engineering firm to make some wood cabinets? Well, I'll tell you why. Because this cabinetry, not only is it beautifully finished with all push to open cupboards and everything's flush fitting with those beautiful burr oak book-ended bits of detailing, you know, on the rear and on the front and whatnot. But as we open the driver's sliding door, we can now literally go al fresco. So we can now pull this whole hob and the sink and the fridge outside onto the driver's side of the van. What does this mean? Well, it totally changes and perfects exactly what should have always happened on the Transporter camper. But getting that unit with all the services to slide out hundreds of thousands of times with no fault, being able to lean against it, sober and drunk for those times when you've had too many beers, be able to cook on it, be able for it to be strong and smooth is why we had to go to an aerospace engineering company. So the hinges are billet. They've been specifically made to be able to withstand the weight plus the weight again, so you can have a full fridge of beer, you can have all your waters, you can have your sink full, you can have your pan of water and everything on top of it, plus leaning on it, and you're gonna be absolutely fine. The thing's not going to move. Also, if we have a little look, we'll see this beautiful billet, square slash tube slash bent tunnel. This is what all the services go through to run everything in that pod. So it's a really simple thing, right? To have a fold out pod on paper, when 2 years ago we thought that's what the transporter camper van needs. But the reality is, in person, it was a huge body of work and something that not only pushed us in our brain power, but also cost us about 10 times more than we ever expected it to. But what a worthwhile investment, because this feature really does change the dynamic of the van. Suddenly, the driver's side of the van, which is normally taken up with conversion, is now totally usable space. So on the passenger side, we can have the kids' chairs, games, football, mountain bikes, all your bits and your bobs, which you normally have to live with outside your sliding door. But now we can open up the other sliding door, have the kitchen out there, and have a social feasting space where the beer's going to be. With the two big awnings out, we've got two defined spaces for eating, drinking, socializing, and on the other side, we've got all of our gear, all of our equipment, and the general playtime. So it's a really nice, it just adds that extra element to the van. I'm not cooped up inside that van. I'm not using a barbecue. I'm not having to drag anything out. I've literally swung out the kitchen unit, got some food on the go, cracked a beer, and wow, what a game changer to the concept of the Volkswagen camper, the VW camper. Another point of this van was that every single element had to be really impressive. So we've developed our own blinds, the walls of the van on the interior, they're lined in cork to make a lovely atmosphere, no condensation, acoustically correct. The blinds all integrated there, then held in with really beautiful little machined copper fixings, so none of those horrible invisible pops or the knock-on pops like you see in the combi vans and in camper vans of normal. A couple of things that really are my favourite standout parts of this van. So the integrated blinds and the way that they rattle and how nice the action works and they move, I love that. I love the actual true carpentry that's gone into it in the cabinetry. It's not just a camper unit, you know, it's got some serious carpentry going on in here. And I love the fact that all the plug sockets are all flush fit, all the power bits are discreetly inlaid into the walls. Oh, the diesel heater outlet panel with that laser cut oak panel is just so beautiful. It really is a very, very different place. And it is the camper van perfected for the transporter. When we get into night mode and we get the van dressed for bedtime, we haven't just got a bedboard with a 2-inch bit of foam to sleep in upstairs. We've got a beautiful memory foam sprung mattress. The roof's made by Remo. It's a really, really good brand, as I'm sure many of you know, and only right to fit it with that, not the stealth, very thin roof. I cannot tell you how comfortable that bed, that mattress is up there. It is just lovely. And then the bed seat that's down on the, the bed seat on the rails, really easy to move backwards and forwards, super easy to operate, very, very comfortable. You sleep on the back of it, so you don't have to lie on all the contours of the actual seat that you sit on. And they're all finished in Italian Alcantara and leathers of your color choice and design. So through all the pain, all the highs, all the lows, all the breakages, all the fails, it's all for one thing. And that one thing is to celebrate what this humble van has brought to generations. And it literally is generations. And that is the ease and flexibility to be able to go after work with a beer, sit outside in complete silence with your loved ones and your family and your partners and nature, and just be present. And that's what the Shillingstone is all about. And I think we've done it. I don't think there is anything else that we can do to a humble VW transporter to make it the ultimate camper van that it will ever be. Its final guise, its last hurrah, the big one. And this is it. With the materials used, the fit, the finish, the ease, the technology, it's done. I hope you like it. We're going to be taking orders from now, and I can't wait to see in 2026 the very last of the genuine VW transporter camper vans gracing the world and making people happy as they have been doing for decades. Anyway, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and please do comment below. This one's important because this isn't just a sports combi. This isn't just a beautifully modified X or a Y. This is actually signing off the VW camper van. It's gone. It will never come back. This is it. It's been a massive honor doing it, and I think it fell on our shoulders to do it. But you need to comment, guys. We need to like it and share it, because it's the last of the last, and we want to sell loads of them and make loads of people happy.